The great hall of the Celis Dominion shimmered with a blue glow as diplomats, guards, scholars, and envoys gathered in hushed anticipation. High arched walls of living crystal curved overhead, shifting in soft waves of luminescent color. It was a rare day, one that carried weight across 3 star systems. The Dominion was selecting a human exchange partner for the royal line, an ancient rite of peace and unity, a symbol of trust meant to bind distant civilizations through voluntary collaboration. Among the rows of chosen candidates stood a young soldier named Tom, unaware that the next moment would shape the course of his life. Tom kept his posture steady, but his eyes scanned the scale of the room, taking in details with quiet amazement. He was one of 50 humans sent by the United Earth Alliance to represent their diverse worlds. He was not from a wealthy family, nor from a prestigious academy. He had no special rank or political weight. He was here because he had passed a few demanding tests, and because he had volunteered when few others wished to step forward. The Dominion was known for its strict traditions, and many humans feared the unknown factors surrounding this exchange. Tom felt nervous, but he also felt something more subtle. He felt curious. At the far end of the hall stood the royal family upon an elevated dais. Their attire flowed like metallic silk, shifting with iridescent tones. At the center was the princess, a figure as striking as the architecture that surrounded her. Her name was Lyra, known across her homeworlds for her calm judgment and formidable intellect. Her eyes held a quiet depth, and her presence seemed to harmonize with the energy of the hall itself. When the time came for her to make her selection, silence fell so sharply that even the hum of the living walls dimmed in respect. Lyra stepped forward. Her gaze drifted over the assembled candidates. Tom had no expectation of being chosen, and when her eyes passed over him, he assumed she would keep scanning. Yet she paused. Something in her posture shifted. She raised her hand. She pointed. She spoke. Her voice carried across the hall with crystal clarity. I select this human. Multiple reactions rippled through the crowd. A murmur spread like a wave. Some gasped. Some whispered in disbelief. Some stared at Tom as though trying to understand what quality had drawn the princess's attention. Tom himself could not move at first. It did not register that she had pointed directly at him until a Dominion guard stepped forward with a ceremonial staff to signify confirmation. Tom took a slow breath and stepped out of the row. He walked toward the dais as the hall parted around him. Many of the envoys observed with a mix of curiosity and confusion. Lyra remained still as he approached, her expression unreadable yet steady. When he reached the base of the dais, he bowed his head in the respectful manner taught during training. She inclined her head in acknowledgement, then spoke in a measured tone. You are Tom, correct? Yes, princess, he said. You are calm, she said. Your thoughts move with clarity. You carry purpose without aggression. These traits are valued in my lineage. Tom was unsure what to say, but he met her eyes and answered with honesty. I will do my best to honor the role, princess. She nodded with approval. We will begin our exchange at once. From that moment, the ceremony moved with careful order. The guards escorted Tom and Lyra through the hall toward a private chamber where the first steps of their partnership would be formalized. Tom caught fragments of whispered questions behind him. Why him? What did the princess see? Had something been arranged? The questions were natural, but none had answers yet. Inside the chamber, the walls softened in color to a gentle, calm blue. A circular platform rose at the center, ringed with symbols of ancient Dominion script. Lyra gestured for Tom to stand opposite her on the platform. When the activation began, the floor shimmered with slow light. This is the Harmony Transit, she explained. It records our intent to work together. It is symbolic, yet also a commitment. Tom nodded. I understand. Do you accept this exchange? She asked. I do. The platform pulsed with a warm light that wrapped around them like a breeze. Lyra closed her eyes for a moment, letting the energy settle. It was not binding in any restrictive way. It simply marked a shared path of cooperation. When it ended, she stepped off the platform and motioned for Tom to follow her to the observation deck beyond the chamber. The deck overlooked a vast stretch of the Dominion capital. The horizon shimmered with crystalline towers, floating platforms, and brilliant lights suspended in patterns that shifted with the planet's own energy cycles. Tom walked beside her, unable to hide his awe. "It is beautiful," he said quietly. "Your world sees beauty in many forms," Lyra said. "I am pleased that you see it here as well." Tom glanced at her. "Princess, may I ask why you chose me?" She did not answer immediately. Instead, she rested her hands on the glass railing and looked out at the city. Her voice was thoughtful when she finally spoke. "When I searched the hall, I studied every human there," she said. "Your species holds vast emotional range. I sensed ambition, fear, pride, uncertainty. These are natural. But from you, I sensed a steadiness, a kind of grounded purpose. You are not striving to be chosen. You are ready to serve if called. That sincerity carries strength." Tom blinked slowly. He had not expected such an answer. "Thank you, Princess." She turned her eyes toward him. "Additionally," she said, "you looked upon our hall not with intimidation, but with curiosity. Curiosity is a bridge between worlds. It is a trait of great value in our diplomatic tradition." He nodded, feeling the truth in her words. "I appreciate your trust. It is earned through presence, not reputation," she said. The next days unfolded with structured purpose. Tom was introduced to Dominion customs, diplomatic protocols, and the unique cultural practices of Lyra's lineage. He learned the significance of their symbolic dances, the meaning behind their ceremonial scripts, and the principles guiding their peaceful expansion across the stars. Lyra accompanied him during many of these lessons, answering questions with patience and offering insight into how their decisions were shaped by centuries of harmony. Seeking, Tom found that the princess carried a dignity that did not demand respect, but inspired it. Her guidance was honest, calm, and steady. He grew to admire her composure, but he also noticed moments when she let subtle warmth show. These glimpses revealed her not just as a royal figure, but as someone who genuinely wished to understand others. One morning, Lyra invited him to join her for a visit to the observatory garden, a place rarely shared with foreign guests. The garden was built on a floating terrace surrounded by star-shaped petals made of bioluminescent material that altered shape with touch. Soft songs produced by crystal vines filled the air with gentle harmony. When they stepped into the garden, Tom paused in wonder. "This place is incredible," he said. Lyra observed his reaction and seemed pleased. "This garden records light from passing star streams. Every petal carries a memory of the sky." Tom touched one of the glowing petals and watched it shift into a spiral of deep blue. "Your culture creates beauty in every form. We create what reflects our values," she said. "Harmony, clarity, shared resonance." They walked along the winding path through the garden until they reached a quiet overlook facing a cluster of distant stars. Lyra turned to him with a thoughtful expression. "There is something you must understand," she said. "This exchange is not symbolic alone. It carries expectations. You will represent your people in many events. You will speak alongside me during council sessions. You will learn to navigate the flow of Dominion influence." Tom took in her words carefully. "I can do that," he said. "I will learn what I need to learn." "You will succeed," she said. "But you must speak freely if you disagree with me. Your honesty will be essential." He nodded. "You will have that from me." For the first time, she allowed a soft smile. It was brief but genuine. As weeks passed, their partnership deepened into a balanced rhythm. Tom attended strategy discussions, cultural gatherings, and diplomatic councils. Lyra taught him how to interpret the subtle shifts of tone used by Dominion leaders. He taught her about human history, humanity's rapid growth, and their relentless pursuit of possibility. She listened with quiet fascination. "Your species overcame countless hardships," she said one evening during a quiet discussion in the council garden. "You adapt quickly. You endure with remarkable resilience." Tom shrugged. "Humans fall, but we get back up. Maybe that is our greatest trait." "It is a valuable one," she said not long after. A threat arose that tested the strength of their partnership. A rogue fleet from a distant sector approached Dominion space. Their motives were unclear, but their movements showed intent that worried the Council. Tom accompanied Lyra to a strategic meeting where top Dominion commanders debated how to respond. Lyra listened to every voice before she formed her plan. Tom spoke only when invited. "We should try to communicate first," he said. "Humans have seen similar patterns. Sometimes these groups act out of fear rather than desire for conflict. If they fear the Dominion's influence, they may act defensively." Several commanders raised concerns, but Lyra considered his words deeply. "Fear can distort perception," she said. "Tom speaks from experience. His counsel is valuable." She chose a diplomatic response, supported by defensive readiness. A message was sent to the rogue fleet offering neutral ground for dialogue. To the Council's surprise, the fleet,